Welcome to Enlightened Evolution.
I'm Kay.
And I'm Christina.
We're here to discuss the ebb and flow of our soul's healing and transformation through self-reflection, choosing intentionally, honoring thyself, and following your inner guide.
Thank you for joining this safe space with us.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Enlightened Evolution with Kay and Christina. This week, we are talking about the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Before we get into that, Kay, do you want to pull us an oracle card?
I do. I have the Sacred Nature Oracle today. I love the outside of these cards as well. I love this color and just
That's
like
pretty.
the leaf. It is. So
for those listening, it's a teal card with like a leaf on it. It's very pretty.
Yes. Number 30. I love this one. Divine Timing. Oh. So there is so each card is, there's a certain plant or flower with each card. And this is a guarumo. Oh, I slaughtered it. I'm sorry for anybody that knows what that is. So, Cecropia peltata, found in tropical zones from Mexico through South America. Guaramo grows quickly and is one of the first trees to appear after deforestation. By growing in clusters, its leaves serve as conduits for water flowing from the rains. After the flowers come and go, tiny fresh fruits appear. A favorite food of toucans, turkeys, monkeys, and bats, who eat then disperse the seeds. Sloths love to eat only the green leaves. Humans use the hollow trunks and stems to make flutes and straws, and the leaves are used to wrap cheese. Guaramo is used in Guatemala and Honduras both to speed up labor and ease birth pains, and in Nicaragua, it's helped to expel the placenta. As a flower essence, Guamaro helps connect the mind to the body and the body to the soul. You may be feeling lost now, but know that what you are feeling is temporary. As you trust the process, observe how life starts to flow. You are divinely protected. Let what needs to happen next just happen. And it gives an affirmation with each one. And this daily affirmation is, I trust what is placed before me and know that time and distance will reveal the divine timing of my life.
I think that fits perfectly with what we're going to talk about today.
I think
letting
so too.
things happen as they will.
Yes.
So had you heard of the Let Them Theory before?
I have. I don't know. Mel Robbins, is this a male or a female?
I think it's a female.
So a couple years ago, actually, I don't even know if it was that long, I came across this woman on YouTube, and it just says let them. And I watched this. Oh no, it's not Mel Robbins, but there's an old lady probably in like her 70s or 80s, and she's on there and it says let them, and there's like millions and millions of views of this. And it basically just talks about let people be who they are, let them do what they're going to do, and don't try to change them. Don't change yourself to fit them. Just let them and kind of like let it be and let it go. And so that was the first time I had ever heard of that. And so it's inspiring, really, to just know that it's not about giving up, but more about gaining peace, and how applying this mindset can change your relationships and just reduce your stress and help you focus on what truly matters to you.
Yeah. And I will say, I have struggled with this my whole life.
Me too, because you want to be chosen and you want to be accepted and you want to be loved and you want to be seen, and you don't want people to doubt you, but let them doubt you. Let them go. Let them stay stuck in their own mindsets and their own, false belief systems or false narratives or whatever. I don't have to prove my innocence and prove my worth to anybody. So just let them be who they're going to be. And I found that, like, the less I try to control things, the more peace I have.
Yes. Yes. And I don't think that that is something people naturally come to. Like when you're experiencing distress, you're not like, oh, if I just let go of this, I'll have peace. Like it really
Mhm.
took someone reading that and hearing that from people to be like, oh, that's what I got to do if I want to find peace.
Mhm.
And it's a daily practice too. Like you get yourself wrapped up in wanting want like you said, wanting to be chosen, wanting to have successful relationships, whether it's family, friends, romantic. And it's hard because you're like, I see what's going wrong here. Why is this other person not seeing it? I will say, so I did not read the whole Let Them Theory book by Mel Robbins. I listened to the synopsis version, a 5-minute synopsis. And I think the only thing that was missing from the synopsis that I listened to is, and this could be, you might have a different view on this. When I was talking to my friend Eric about this, he was like, I said, yes, let them do what they're going to do. Like if they wanted to, they would. But I also feel
Mhm.
like at some point, maybe you do have to express your expectations of someone so that they know that they're letting you down and then they can choose to let you down or not. But Eric was like, "No, they're an adult. They should know how they should function in this relationship, and if they're not going to, then they're not going to." What do you think? Do you feel like you should give people the benefit of the doubt of like, "This is what I expect of you," and then let them choose whether or not to
I
show up for you?
think it's situational based on the subject. So, if there's something very minor in a relationship that doesn't challenge or doesn't completely disconnect from your values, I think it's worth having a conversation. If this person has been great with you, dating you for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they kind of do something that makes, like, sparks your awareness, like, oh, that's something that I need to be curious about how that made me feel. And so I think if you bring this to them and you have a conversation with them about it, for one, it's going to show you how much they care about your feelings based on how they react to it. So whether or not they agree with you or not about what your stance is on the subject, how they respond to you, I says everything, whether they agree or whether they
Mhm.
don't agree, because we don't have to share the same perspectives on anything, but do you honor how I feel and respect how I feel? And do I feel seen even though we disagree? And are you able to give that to the other person as well? So, yeah, if someone wants to go out and spend your life savings on strippers, yeah, well, we're never going to probably continue this relationship ever again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, obviously that's an extreme example of something, but I would say a more subtle example is I love reading those like Reddits, like, am I the asshole or am I overreacting for things? And it's like these young people, they're like, oh, my boyfriend of 3 years, I just found out that he's liking girls' social media posts, like women that don't even look like me. And they look, I think he finds them really attractive. Like, why is he interacting with these women online? It hurts me. Now, that's something that it's like, you shouldn't even have to tell your partner that that's inappropriate behavior.
Right. Mhm.
So that would be like, okay, let them do that and let them go. I don't need to, like, that should, to me now, and at being 35 years old, that's not even going to be a conversation anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I
So,
think the hard part for me is when I do experience somebody doing something that I feel is like harmful to me or harmful to our relationship, then I
mhm.
start to think, well, I'm also not perfect and I do this and I do that. And
But you would have never done
so,
that.
right, that's true. That's true.
And yeah,
That's true.
so we're all, no, we're not perfect. We all are shaped from our upbringing, shape from society. We all have our different, especially like now that we're in 20s, it was a little bit different because I was like, I just felt like I was wandering mindless around, in my 20s. Now that I'm just a little bit older, it's like we're all kind of, yes, we're open to growth, but I feel like we're stuck in our values. Like we're rooted in the values that we've chosen. And so I feel like it's just a little bit difficult for me to give people grace based in the now. Have I fucked up in the past? Have I made terrible decisions? Am I not perfect? No, of course not. But like you're not going to do those things anymore. And for someone to do something to
Right.
you in the present moment and you haven't done this, and like you haven't exhibited that behavior in years and you would never do that anymore, and for them to do it now, it's like that's a yes, they're not perfect and neither are you, but the past is the past and this is now the present moment, you know? I just that's so frustrating to me.
Mhm.
Like you've done that too.
Yeah.
Well, not in 10 years I haven't. It's like
Right.
I don't know. So I just
Yeah. That's not who I am anymore, and that's not what I
yeah.
align with, and if that's the behavior you're going to exhibit,
Mhm.
maybe we don't align with each other.
Yeah.
And part of the let them theory too, it's not like, okay, these people are doing this thing, so I'm just going to cut them off. It's really about like letting go of your desire to control their behavior, one, and then figuring
Mhm.
out what works for you, what proximity works for you. So, say it's a family member. I have family that are racist, that are very mean people. So then I have to look at myself and say, okay, do I limit my exposure to that person and to the amount of time that that person gets of mine? And, what do I limit this to? Um, and it's different. So, like, you might treat a family member like you may, okay, I'm going to say happy birthday to them or whatever, but we're not going to be spending extended periods of time together. But you may feel differently if it's a friend. And like the point of a friendship is like having a connection. And if you guys don't align, then what
Mhm.
is the point of the friendship or a
Yes.
relationship?
Right. I think I was just going to say it shows up like in the subtle things too. Like, "Oh, hey, there's something I really need to like I just need to vent, I just need to talk." And it's like, "Okay, well, I can't talk to you right now, but I'm going to call you tomorrow." Like, and then they never end up calling. Or
Hmm.
you tell your partner like, "Hey, I really need to have this conversation about something that upset me." And then they never seem to want to make the time for it. Or even like if you're dating and someone just ghosts you and like that's hurtful for sure, you know? Like, these things are hurtful, that people
Hmm.
don't show up for you the way that you intended for them to the way that you had in your mind that they were gonna show up, and so it's kinda like that's really hard to not want to find out why you weren't worthy enough of a phone call, why you weren't you're why don't they wanna give you their time? And there could be 100 different reasons
And that's the
why.
hardest part to sit with.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
why am I not loved? But I think the different
And I feel
perspective
like
is
it goes
like
both ways.
yeah, oh, always, yeah.
Like, I feel like people do things, not with knowing that what they're doing is going to hurt you, but with
Mhm,
selfishness, basically. Like, I've expressed to my husband things I would like to do and places I would like to go. And he has an excuse for, well, I'm tired or I don't have time for that. You do have
mhm.
time for it. You're just prioritizing the things that matter to you, not to us in this relationship. And to sit with that and to know that that person that you love so much is prioritizing other things rather than
Mhm.
growing your relationship or, you know, investing in you like you invest in them. That's a hard part to sit with, to let them and to see that they wouldn't choose you.
That's really hard, that's really, really hard because it's like, where do you go from there? Because there's still this awesome, amazing, beautiful
Right.
person that you want to spend your life with, but it's almost like, okay, we're going to drop a pin right there on how your behavior makes me feel. And then do I alter my behavior with the things I do to show up for you? Because I'm kind of resentful at this point that you don't show up for me the way I need. So I know myself as a person. If that was happening to me in a relationship, it's like, oh, then why am I going the extra mile every day to make sure that I'm doing these things for you when what I'm asking really isn't that big to make me feel acknowledged, you know?
Mhm.
You said you're still going to his hockey game tonight?
I
Sorry, Jordan.
am.
Sorry, Jordan. Yeah. Well, that's really
But I
nice of
mean,
you, you
that's
know? That's what I'm saying.
yeah. And that is I mean, it's hard because I don't want to alter how I care about other people.
Right. But you want them to understand how you feel, and what better way to get someone to understand how you feel than treat them the way that they're treating you?
Yeah.
'Cause
But
obviously
I
words
feel
don't
like that's
help,
also
you
right.
know?
Right. And that's the thing, like, if they wanted to, they would. That comes from you not even telling someone what you want. Like, if they wanted to take you to a nice dinner or, do nice things for you, they would. They don't
Mhm.
want to. And you expressing yourself to them and saying, "Hey, I would really like this," probably not gonna change their behavior, right?
Right.
So
Because if they would have said, "Oh my gosh, like, I thought we were just hanging out at home. Yeah, we've gotten to like this pattern. We're married, we're at home, we're cooking dinner, we're doing our thing, where we fall into the same everyday groove of life." I almost forgot that like we got to continue to date each other and we got to continue to have new experiences together. And I'm the one that needs to take the initiative to make those plans because it means something to you. And yes, you're the type A, you're
mhm.
the planner, you do this, you do that, but like maybe I need to kind of do the same because I don't do you think that we tend to love other people how we wanna be loved versus how they want to be loved? Because 'Cause I've fallen into that
Yeah.
pattern too. It's like, I've left you alone all morning. I haven't texted you because I wanna be left alone all morning, and I wanna have my morning routine without distractions, and it's like, "Well, do you make me feel unloved when you're so distant?" It's like, "Oh, damn, I thought I was just giving you your space," you know? It's like
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. And that's when we like don't consider our partner's love language. Like yours, you need your personal time, you need your space, you
mhm.
need your recentering time, and someone else might find that like avoidant or like I want to spend all my waking hours with you. Like any free time I have, I want to spend with you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I
absolutely not.
As I don't know, a lot of people probably won't agree with this, but I think love languages are kind of bullshit because
Mhm.
even when you take this love language test, you're taking it at the state that you're in at that moment. And there's so many
Yes.
other outside contributing factors to how you feel in that day and in that moment. So, like today, I may not want anybody to touch me. And on other days, I might need a 3-hour hug. So it's like, it's not my birthday today, like, I don't need or want gifts today, but if it was my birthday and you
Right.
didn't get me anything,
I
I'd
would
be
want
fucking
gifts.
devastated, like, I just cleaned the kitchen, I don't need acts of service today, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I need is, I don't know, just to sit down and hear me talk, so, I don't know, I think your love languages are constantly changing and this ebb and flow of them on a day-to-day basis, so I think that's hard to go by.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like I want all of them at different times.
Mhm.
So,
And I deserve them all,
but I
just at
guess,
different times.
yeah. But back to like your example of like someone who prefers their alone time, I guess that is a little different ish than love languages. If it's a constant thing and the other partner like wants that connection and wants to spend as much time together, like, and that's the thing is like, I feel like our needs are constantly evolving and we're constantly
Mhm.
getting to know ourselves better of what we do
Yeah.
need. And so you may have entered that relationship thinking that that was something you could give that person. And then as it evolves, you're like, actually, I really need this personal time. But at that point, I think it's a conversation of, like, I know that you love to spend time with me, but I need you to also honor that I need some time alone
Yeah, and
to
it's really
recharge
hard when
myself.
they don't accept that, and then you feel guilty because it's like, do I sacrifice my peace and well-being to give them what they need, or do I honor
No.
myself?
I don't think
Um,
that's the answer.
I think it's the let them is so hard, but what I've also experienced is when they don't let you, it's even harder because it's like, why letting them is really letting yourself. If they like the example you just gave, and I've experienced this in the most recent relationship. It's like they wanted so much of my time, and it's like, I really can't. I have to free up my energy and emotional bandwidth, like, for myself. And so I let them be upset about it. I just let them be upset that my absence was hurting them because I really just needed the time for myself. And it kind of, I don't know, evolved into just me like moving on from this relationship because we couldn't give each other what each other needed. Like they couldn't just let me and I couldn't just let them. And it's like you stop when you like stop letting them also lets you like let yourself, you stop trying to micromanage other people's perceptions and decisions.
Yeah.
And you stop feeling guilty. You start focusing on what you can control, which is only yourself. And
Yep.
emotional detachment isn't like always cold. It's not always this cold-blooded thing. I don't need to sit here and prove my innocence to you that when I'm sitting alone for 3 hours in the morning drinking my coffee doing absolutely nothing, that's healthy for me. It's not this, it doesn't have to be like this cold like I ain't cold-blooded because I need time to myself. I'm not cheating and need to prove my innocence
No.
to you because you don't believe me. So I'm going to let you not believe me, and I'm going to detach myself from this because it's unhealthy.
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't
I'm not going to
know.
sit here and try to convince you otherwise.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I want to mention some things that aren't let them. So
Ooh,
it's not
yes.
passive aggression, it's not
Mhm.
emotional shutdown. So you're not going to have this emotional reaction because they didn't do what you thought they should have done. You're going to release it, which is hard. And if it needs to be a conversation, then let it be a conversation. But it's not about just being unbothered for the aesthetic, like, oh, that doesn't bother me. It probably does, and you probably need to address it within yourself of why it bothers
Mhm.
you.
Like, why did you have the
It's not
expectation?
right. And then it's not avoidance as well, it's acceptance. It's witnessing someone's actions and accepting that that's who they are and that's who they want to be. And at the same time, like, as I just said that, I'm like, God, there's been some times where I do something or say something, and then I'm like, "Oh, that's not me. That's not that's not who I want to be."
Yeah.
That's maybe old patterns showing up.
Mhm.
Um, so I do think that there is room for grace in the let them theory, as long as you're having that open communication.
Yeah, the emotional challenge is
I also
just.
had
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the emotional challenge is applying it because it's so hard because like we care about these people and we care about ourselves and we want to feel seen and heard and we want to understand them. Like, why did you do that? Like some things I ain't just gonna let them with some things, okay?
No.
Like some things I have to
We're gonna talk about
understand.
it.
Like I know myself well enough to know. Um and you do have to choose the peace over control. And sometimes choosing peace is still hurtful because you wanted a certain outcome and you didn't get it. But I think just the let them theory in
For
general,
sure.
it's just a boundary for your nervous system. It's like, okay, if I don't have expectations about the outcome of this relationship or the outcome of what they're going to do for my birthday or the outcome of them planning dinner dates, and like if they don't do it, am I going to be devastated with the outcome? And so
Right.
I don't know. I
It's really
think
about
that
your reaction to their
yeah, because
actions.
yeah, when you talk about it, it like feels risky to even bring it up because like you say, if they wanted to, they would, or if they did that, it's because they agree with it and that's their value. It's like, well, talking about it does feel risky because you fear abandonment, you feel am I going to be rejected? Am I going to lose control over this relationship somehow? But I don't know. It's like I would keep like make little pins and locations of when things happened in your mind and how it made you feel. And if there's a pattern and you don't agree with that pattern, because we all should give each other grace, then I guess you just have to question like, is this person, is this who I belong with?
Right.
Whether it's
And I
romantic
think
or in
some
family or
areas,
not.
right, where let them doesn't apply, absolutely with abuse and manipulation, dangerous
Mm-hmm.
behaviors. Like, you're not going to let them, right? You're going to get yourself out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're saying, use discernment. Some situations require a confrontation, not a confrontation, but maybe just action, a conversation. Let them is more of a tool, but not a rule in every situation. Just let them. Um, and that's kind of the way I've seen it presented, is more of like a rule, like, oh, just let them, just let them, just let them. And I don't think, I think there has to be the discernment there of when to have a conversation and when to
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes
put
you
a
gotta let
pin
them
in
know
that.
they got you fucked up. You know.
Right. And one thing that I struggle with is I repeat myself. And I don't think I should have to repeat myself.
Oh, I do too sometimes. I think it's being well, maybe I don't know. I think it's being a mom and being a nurse. We have to constantly
Yeah.
teach. And so if you didn't hear me this time, I'm going to say it a different way so you hear me the second time.
Right.
And I think that, like, at a positive light to this, because it is hard to think about, like, well, damn, they did all this because they obviously don't really consider how I feel, but, like, think about if you really let them, just let them and let them go or let them behave how they want and do what they're gonna do, how would that free you up to explore other things about yourself that you wanna do? What are you curious about? Like a new, I don't know, just way to be creative and a new outlet for learning and growing into your own self, and it's not all
And
about
what are ways that you can meet your own
mhm.
needs more? So if you're
Yeah.
constantly expecting other people to meet your needs and you're getting disappointed when they
Mhm.
don't, is there ways that you could be meeting your own needs as well? Like, do you have to expect it of other people? Some things we do, and some things
Mhm.
we can meet our own needs for.
Yeah. And a lot of this I think was based on like a romantic relationship. Like our conversation kind of geared because that's kind of like what we're resonating with right now and like the things that are affecting us in our personal life. But also think a lot about like some family situations I've had or even friendships that I've had to let go of. E- For instance, like I had to let go of friendships based on just not being in alignment with going out and partying and drinking every weekend. And I know like that person wasn't in good health where I had to leave them, but trying to like control something in someone else's life that isn't my burden to carry. And so it's like these are the choices they're making and you have to let them go, or people that have older adult children that choose to be, drug addicts and they've helped them multiple times and you're exhausting a lot of your savings and your time and your energy into trying to like save them. Like you can't save anybody
Yeah.
either.
No, no. I have some reflections that our listeners can look at.
I need them.
What would change in your life if you stopped trying to manage other people's behaviors?
What would you
I
change
think,
in your
first
life
of
if you
all, it would
stopped
relieve a
trying
lot of
to?
stress.
Yeah, it would. What would you change in your life? Yeah, you would. And you want to know what I really, for a long time, that saying was like, I match energies, but I really started to fall into, I maintain my own energy. And this has helped me so much in the workplace because now don't get me wrong, sometimes I'm the one with the bad attitude when I walk in there because what? But other times, sometimes I'm just having a good day, or sometimes someone's nasty to me, or sometimes someone says something that's completely inaccurate or I don't agree with, or whatever the case may be. And I've gotten so good at not, I've just like letting things fly off my back and not even putting so much energy and stock into people that like I'm not rocking with that today, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I work with some really fragile egos, and
Mm-hmm.
there are times when people get upset about the silliest things, and it becomes this whole snowball, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm practicing letting them feel the way they feel. I
Good. Yeah.
there are yeah, there are some people that almost expect you to manage their I don't know how to say this.
Their
I don't know,
fragile
manage
ego.
their emotions. Yeah. And that's not for me. That's for you to decide. I'll also say I've been told in my organization, because I worked for my previous director who had a very stern reputation, and because I was her right-hand man, everyone associates me with her, and they associate me as being a hard ass, and I am to a point. I give people grace, and I'm actually a very nice person, but people automatically have that idea of me
Mm-hmm.
that haven't worked with me before. And so when someone came to me and told me this, they're like, "Well, people have this idea of who you are because of who you worked for." And I'm like, "Okay, let them think that. If they want to take the time to actually get to know me and work with me and see that I'm actually very nice and gracious, they can. If not, they can continue to think who I am."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Let them for sure. Oh, gosh. I'm just thinking of all the stories that you've told me.
I have more for you when we get off this call.
Oh,
It's
okay.
never ending. Literally, I was
I
just
love
like,
it.
I
Your
was like,
saga, the saga
yesterday,
of this era you're in this establishment, in this position, like the saga continues. I cannot wait.
I was watching The Office last night and I was like, I absolutely need a TV show because this is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see what else I have. Okay, so how to practice let them in daily life. It's the power of the pause, taking a breath before you react, and then thinking in that moment, why do I want to react this way? Is my reaction based on wanting to change their behavior? Or is it because what they did was wrong and I need to correct them? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
reacting? What is the motivation? And then when you do feel yourself being stressed out because someone isn't performing in a relationship the way you think, ask, is it mine to carry? Like, is this my burden to carry? Or is this theirs to carry?
Mm-hmm.
Practice setting internal boundaries before external ones. So, internal, think self regulation. Like, what am I going to let myself react to? And what am I going to, set a full stop of that's not mine to carry?
Yeah, like deep breath. Ooh, that's a trigger. I need to process that. How can I be more curious?
Yeah. So, maybe try it for a week. See, try it in different settings with different relationships. See how it makes you feel to sit and reflect on the things you can and can't control. And let us know how that goes for y'all. Do you have anything else for us on this topic?
I do not, but I loved this topic.
Me too.
So I'm
It's
gonna
it's
let them
great.
and let myself.
I'm going to continue to try to practice it, and we'll see where it gets me. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you share us with someone you love. Help us grow our audience. Catch us on YouTube. Namaste.
Namaste.